Welcome back, Weather Reconnaissance Team, to another weekly recon briefing update. I'm your host, Russ Parsons. I'm thrilled to be here with you today, April the 5th, 2026, bringing you the latest on what Mother Nature has in store for us. Coming to you live from Parsons, Kansas, where it was sunny outside and clear afternoon. We are setting right at 63 degrees, but as always, we're looking beyond our immediate surroundings. And you may ask, why am I kicking things off tonight on a Sunday evening? Normally I do this on a Monday evening around 5 or 5:30 Central Daylight Time. And there's a reason for that. I'm be going out of town for some training this week with my job, and so I figured I'd go ahead and get this done this evening, and it'll be there for everybody to watch throughout the week. But we are going to get started. We're going to jump right on into this briefing here for the next 7 days for the plains. All right. This photograph here, it was taken, I believe this would have been Thursday. Yeah, the Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. This particular line of clouds moved off to the east across Labette County and then into Crawford County. And I caught up with it. I thought it was pretty neat. I always like the cumulonimbus clouds like this anyway. And this is looking straight east towards McCune. There at the lower left corner, you see the McCune Co-op elevator. They're on the ground level, and I always do enjoy some cumulus clouds like this, especially this time of year. And it's just a reminder that things can bubble up and become violent at any moment's notice. These were all pretty calm. There was no rain associated with this. They never developed into anything but these cumulus clouds here. And but I thought I'd throw that in there for the start of the slideshow, and let's get started. All right. Here we're looking at last week's severe weather significant events. From the last 7 days here, had quite a bit that went on this past week. Had a couple of days of severe weather throughout the last week. I believe we had Wednesday and Friday. We had some severe weather here in southeastern Kansas. Here in southeastern Kansas, we had some hail reports and some wind damage reports, severe thunderstorm wind damage reports down here in the Texas Panhandle. Had some hail down here in the Panhandle of Texas, western Oklahoma. Several reports of wind damage and hail, large hail. And as you see the upside down triangles here around the Oklahoma City area, this would have been Friday evening. If you didn't get to watch any of my coverage, I'm sorry for that, but I was covering these storms as they was moving here across central Oklahoma around the Oklahoma City area on Friday evening as these storms rolled through. Actually, this would have been Saturday evening. My apology. Yeah, this would have been on Saturday evening as these storms rolled through here. And I believe it caused a little bit of damage to some power lines. Some of the tornadoes here that went south of Oklahoma City caused some damage to some power lines in that area and some tree damage. But hail size, anywhere from about, I believe that night was reported about 2-inch size hail with some of those bigger storms. But it was mainly a wind wind event, extreme wind event, and large hail event. Just a few reports of tornadoes, also about 3 reports of tornadoes down here in eastern Texas. As far as I could tell, I didn't find anywhere where it actually damaged a whole lot, other than maybe some trees, a few outbuildings. And then you look up here in North Dakota, South Dakota, they had some pretty good snowfall. Pretty good snowfall event, and that would have been about the same time period, the Thursday through the Saturday time period of this past week. We take a look here from the last 7 days of snowfall in North Dakota. This is the map you're looking at right now. And it looked like the bullseye was here around Jamestown, about 25 inches. I don't know if that was correct or not. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look. But kind of a bullseye right there in that area. And southern North Dakota had anywhere from about 10 to 17 inches or so. And then that tapered off as you went north into the state of North Dakota. Pretty good. Devil's Lake only had right around 3.9 inches. But looks like southern North Dakota got some pretty good snowfall. This is South Dakota's snowfall map from the past 7 days. As you see here, northwestern South Dakota had the most, right around 14 inches. They topped out there. Aberdeen came in at about 8.1 inches. And as you went further south into the state of South Dakota, it tapered off pretty quickly. Looks like here around Rapid City, north and east of Rapid City, about 8 to 10 inches or so here. So that's not bad, probably for this time of year. That should be starting to wind down here within the next 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. This is the day 3 through 7 U.S. hazards outlook. It'll be for April the 8th to the 12th, Wednesday through Sunday of this upcoming week. Showing some heavy rain here on the 11th and 12th in eastern Oklahoma, north central Texas, and also some heavy rain on the 9th and 10th along a frontal boundary that sets up here across northern Kansas, northeastern Kansas, and southern Nebraska. And on the 8th, on Wednesday, they're expecting some pretty high winds up here in the northern plain states of North Dakota and South Dakota. So something to definitely look out for is some wind up there in the northern plain states. And then as the week progresses, we'll get some heavier rainfall in Oklahoma and eastern Kansas. This is tomorrow's. If you're just tuning in, I am going to start all this for tomorrow on Monday. This will be Monday's surface analysis chart. The frontal boundaries will be valid at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, and the actual weather map, everything else depicted on the weather map, will be valid at 7 a.m. on Monday. But you see a cold front here bisecting the state. Kind of reminds you of the end of last week's setup that we had with that front that just would not go away. It stuck around for about 3 to 4 days. We did get some pretty good rain here in southeastern Kansas, about 2.6 inches, I believe, total for the entire event. Not bad for a week's rainfall, and we needed it bad. And I believe that actually took us out of the drought conditions that we were starting to see here in southeastern Kansas. But anyway, let's get back to tomorrow's surface analysis chart. It is showing some mixed precipitation across South Dakota, southern South Dakota, eastern Nebraska, and northeastern Kansas. And critical fire weather is possible out here across the Oklahoma Panhandle and southwestern Kansas. So please don't burn tomorrow out there in that area. That just means there's going to be very low humidity, probably some strong winds out in that area. So don't burn if you're out there in the Oklahoma and northern Texas panhandles and southwestern Kansas. This shows that area a little bit further. The fire weather outlook for Monday, tomorrow. You're pretty much in the critical areas of the do not burn areas here across southwestern Kansas, southeastern Colorado, the Oklahoma Panhandle, and the very northern part of the Texas Panhandle. So please don't burn tomorrow if you live in those areas depicted by the orange and reds on this map. This is Tuesday's surface analysis chart, Tuesday of this week, April the 7th. That front pretty much becomes stationary, turns into a warm frontal boundary across central Kansas here, and then back up to a low pressure center across eastern Montana. This low pressure center will bring in some snow and some freezing rain into North Dakota and northern South Dakota, and also some mixed precipitation down here in Nebraska area. Everything up here in North Dakota and South Dakota will be associated with the low pressure center along this front that's incoming, and everything in Nebraska will be associated with this warm front here that will be lifting back to the north. This is the Tuesday severe weather outlook. Pretty much a risk of, I'm just going to point out that there's a risk of just general thunderstorms across the very southwestern corner of Texas. That'll go up into New Mexico and Colorado areas and Arizona. But there's not any during the first part of the week, the first 2 or 3 days of the upcoming week. There are no chances of severe weather. Maybe some general thunderstorms here and there in Texas, but no severe weather is predicted between at least now and Wednesday. This is Wednesday's, April the 8th, surface analysis chart. As you see, this cold frontal boundary up here in the Dakotas makes its way down into Nebraska. The low pressure center will be over southeastern South Dakota, with the warm front stretching from there off to the south and east through western Iowa and into northwestern Missouri. Rain will be associated with this front starting Wednesday time frame as it slides off to the south and east, and looks like rain and thunderstorms will be possible across southern Nebraska and northern Kansas on Wednesday. This is Thursday's surface analysis chart, Thursday, April the 9th. The front slides a little bit further off to the south and east. It will bisect the state of Kansas from the southwestern corner to the northeastern corner. You see here in the red hatched areas, thunderstorms will be possible out in front of this cold front as it slides off to the south and east. So that's something we will keep an eye on between now and then. I'm not sure quite yet if we'll get anything severe out of this. It's still a little bit too early to predict that. But just some general thunderstorms here across southwestern Texas and the Gulf part of everything across the Gulf of America, across southern Texas. This is Friday's surface analysis chart. The front looks like almost becomes stationary once again across to Kansas, the Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle areas, so that the rain will hold on. It will continue to affect those areas that you see hatched in the red diagonal lines. But yeah, you'll see some rain and thunderstorms all the way up into North Dakota, South Dakota. Pretty much most of the plain states will be affected by some type of rain precipitation, it looks like, on Friday. This is Saturday, April 11th, a surface analysis chart. It looks like the frontal boundary moves back to the north across Nebraska as a warm frontal boundary, But however, as you see, it's going to be a big rainy mess on Saturday. So I hope you don't have a lot of plans that don't include rain or precipitation, rain and showers and thunderstorms, because this upcoming weekend looks to be almost a washout. We'll get into the exact amount, well, not amounts, but the percentages of precipitation for the upcoming weekend in here just in a little bit. This is a Sunday surface analysis chart. It shows that the front does make it down to Texas. It gets itself in gear here. And actually, yeah, that is actually the wrong map. That's actually the whole map from last week. I apologize. But we do still have chances of rain. I apologize for this map. This is one that I did not get taken out from last week's system that came through. But we are still expecting some rainfall on Sunday for most of the central and southern plain states. Here's your next 7-day forecast for San Antonio, Texas. They will be cloudy to partly cloudy. The Monday through Wednesday time frame looks like they'll top out Wednesday before the rain kicks in on Thursday. They'll top out 77. Looks like 82 for a high on Thursday. Stay up in the lower 80s, it looks like, for the remainder of the week, with some showers and thunderstorms possible Thursday through the Sunday evening time frame. And the biggest chance looks like for them in San Antonio will be on Saturday during the daytime. This is Oklahoma City's 7-day forecast. Their rain chances start ramping up from about Thursday night, overnight, all the way through Sunday and Sunday evening. Biggest chances of rain there in Oklahoma City for this upcoming weekend. About a 50% chance it looks like on Saturday, and 70% Saturday night, 60% Sunday during the day. But and their high temperature for the week looks like to be about 79 degrees, both on Friday and Sunday time frame. But first part of the week looks to be pretty darn comfortable out there, folks. You can't get much better than this, right around 70 degrees there in Oklahoma City. Monday and Wednesday, looks like mostly sunny, partly cloudy on Tuesday. But first part of the week looks to be good there in Oklahoma City. But if you've got any plans for the upcoming weekend, just keep in mind that it's going to be pretty wet. This is Wichita's 7-day forecast for the upcoming work week and into the next weekend. It's pretty much the same story. Starting in Wednesday night will be the scattered showers and thunderstorms. That will continue all the way through Sunday night. For Wichita, biggest chances will be 60% there on Friday night, Saturday during the day, and then a 70% chance Saturday night. And that will continue into Sunday. So the latter half of this week in Wichita, Wednesday night through Sunday night, looking to be pretty darn wet. Here in Parsons, Kansas, pretty much the same story as Wichita. If you got anything to do outdoors, looks like the Monday through Wednesday time frame looks to be pretty decent here in Parsons. But latter half of the week, it's going to be a wet one, folks. And that's pretty much the entire story for most of the plain states. Lincoln, Nebraska, you're going to be wet pretty much from tonight or tomorrow night, Monday night, all the way through Sunday night. You'll have some snow showers, rain/snow showers starting tomorrow night on Monday and continuing during the day, early part of the day on Tuesday, and then I'll change all over to rain for the remainder of the week. Just a reminder, the reason the percentages aren't here is that the National Weather Service out of the Lincoln, Nebraska area does not put the percentages on here for later on in the forecast. But those percentages will likely be up there or to around where Parsons and Wichita's were the 60 to 70% chance by the end of the week. Pierre, South Dakota looks a little tamer, but tomorrow morning looks like they'll start out with some snow showers, 30% chance of snow. They're on in Pierre, South Dakota on Monday morning. And some rain showers Tuesday night, and then from about Thursday night through Saturday night. A little bit lower in chances. It looks like 20 to 30% chance of some rain and thunderstorms there in Pierre. But Sunday looks to be pretty decent. 64 for a high, 41 for a low there on Sunday. So kind of hit and miss. Looks like on the rain in Pierre, South Dakota this week. Minot, North Dakota. Not a lot of chances. Looks like they're going to have some rain overnight tomorrow night on Tuesday. And then that'll turn into some chances of snow. Not a lot of precipitation, I read. Not a lot of accumulation, on Wednesday morning during the day. But 80% chance of some rain Tuesday night, and that'll change into some snow early Wednesday. And should get out of there by this afternoon and evening to bring in some partly cloudy skies overnight on Wednesday. But they're going to jump back up, it looks like, to about 62 degrees on Saturday. And sunny skies during the day with some showers Saturday night. This is the 7-day precipitation forecast, the total forecasted precipitation for the next 7 days, Monday, tomorrow through the following Monday on April 13th. So what we're looking at here is some pretty hefty precipitation, mostly rainfall, thunderstorms across eastern Kansas, all the way down into central Texas and Oklahoma. Looks like the bullseye right now will be about 3 inches here in northeastern Kansas, 2.5 to 3 inches. And here in southeastern Kansas, probably about 1.5 to 1 3/4 inches here in the purple areas. And you get down into Texas, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rainfall. So looks like we'll probably get some much more needed rainfall. I'd rather have a surplus right now, the way things are looking for this summer. I truly think it's probably going to be from about June on, will probably be a very dry summer and a very warm, hot summer. But that's something we will keep an eye on, and I'll bring some more updates on that to you folks as we get a little bit closer to all that this summer. But that's kind of what I'm seeing coming up anyway. All righty, we are going to jump into our next segment of the broadcast this week. That brings us to our Beyond the Forecast segment, where we take a deeper dive into a weather topic or discuss a broader trend. This particular week, I want to ask a favor of our listeners here at Russ's Weather Recon. I want to start up a new segment on the show each week, and let's get into what actually I want to do. We've got a big week ahead. Severe shifts in the jet stream and some localized systems this week that are going to catch a few of you off guard. But today, I'm changing things up a little bit. I want your eyes on the ground. I'm officially calling for your weekly Recon weather photos. Starting next week, I'll be including your best shots right here in the briefing. Here's how you can join Russ's Weather Recon team. And you may ask, why does this actually matter? And it's because satellites and radars give us the big picture, but nothing beats the actual ground truth. Whether it's a shelf cloud rolling into your town, the first frost on your garden, or just a stunning local sunset, these photos help us all see the weather as it's actually happening. You're not just viewers anymore. You are the Recon team. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the submission process, and it's pretty simple. When you see something worth sharing, snap a photo and send it to russweatherrecon@gmail.com. Repeating, russweatherrecon@gmail.com. That will actually be included in the comments section or the description. So don't worry if you didn't get that email address, but it is included on the slide here that you're looking at while we're talking about this. But what I want you to include in this email is not just your photograph that you take, but I also want you to tell me your name or your social media handle and your general location. There will be a deadline to get these into me. I need you to get them into me by Saturday of each week so I can actually get them into the following week's weekly briefing. A tip that I do want to give you, that landscape photos or horizontal photos, so turn your phone cameras sideways, not up and down, actually look best on these YouTube screens. So while you're getting those cameras ready, let's look at what the Recon team is tracking for the next 7 days. We're seeing a frontal boundary over the central and southern plains. This is going to bring us some rain and thunderstorms to the region. So if you're in the central or southern plain states, look out for those billowy cumulonimbus clouds. Those actually make for some of the best Recon photos out there. But just any type of photos or anything that you want to get to me, I really appreciate it. And you will get recognition. And we are going to get to that here. We are going to have what we call the Wall of Fame. And next week, the photo section of the briefing will all be yours. I'll be picking the top 3 photos to highlight as our Recon photos of the week. If your shot actually gets featured, you'll get a shout out, and we'll break down exactly what meteorological event you captured. So make sure you check the description of the video, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube. I included my email address there, or you can copy it off the slide here, write it down, and that's how you'll submit your photos to me. But that'll be your submission link for the photos. I can't wait to see what the weather looks like from your front porch. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on YouTube so you don't miss next week's briefing to see if your photo made the cut. Stay safe, stay weather aware, and I'll see you in the next Recon. But this is something interesting I want to do for you folks. I want to get everybody involved, and I think it'll be interesting to do this. I really hope I get some folks to send me some photographs. It shouldn't be too hard since everybody's got a camera in their pocket nowadays. And just like the photo I started the show with this evening, that was some pretty neat clouds that I thought was photo worthy. And but I do want to get everybody involved with the show. And if you know anybody that could be interested in weather, and make sure you guide them in Russ's Weather Recon's direction. You can find me on Facebook. YouTube and Twitch. When I do these videos live, that's where I'm streaming each week. And I'll usually come to you live, other than this particular week. I'm doing it today on Sunday, but I'll usually come to you live with your weekly briefing for the next 7 days on Monday evening at about 5 to 5:30 p.m. But we will see you next week, unless there's any severe weather that pops up Wednesday through Saturday time frame. I'll be on here to give everybody an update. And we'll see everybody out there next week. Thank you for tuning in.